Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today for our first intensive or remedial session. So I'm going to hopefully I do have to apologize for not being able to make it yesterday, as I had a bit of an urgent situation that I needed to handle. So our sessions will always be on Saturdays, most likely from 3 to 5. But today I wanted to give you a session just to make up for what I was supposed to go through with you yesterday. Okay, so now let me start off with the following question. Suppose that the user enters a number. Now, this is a good example that I would like to talk about. Now, the user enters a number. How can the program tell whether this number is either even or odd? Okay, Lemma, thank you very much. This is what we can use. But before we decide on this, mathematically in real life, how can I find what's a good way of finding whether or not this number is even or odd? So for example, let's say someone has an answer. By inspecting the last number, so let's say, for example, the user enters 48. So 48 is my number. How can I tell whether or not this number is even? So Lama said, let's take a look at the last digit. Okay, what next? So I look at the last digit. What do I do next? Okay, this is a good way, but my computer doesn't look at things this way. So this is 48. What happens when I divide 48 by 2?
It'll be 24.
It will be 24. Will this be an exact answer or there will be a remainder?
No, I think no remainder.
No remainder. It's going to be an exact answer.
Yes.
Is going to be an exact answer. So it's going to be.
Should I call it integers or no?
Sorry?
Should I call it integers?
Well, yes, we can use integer division.
Yes.
Second. Which will give me 24. Or this is what we need to do. We can use modulus division. What's the remainder of dividing 24 by 2? What's 24 mod 2?
I think 0.
It should be 0, no remainder.
Because it will be 12, exact number.
Exactly. So,
Yes.
and what about 48 mod 2?
Also 0.
Also 0. Because 48 divided by 2 is exactly 0. Include that. So this is my test. So the user enters a program, enters, sorry, a number. Let's say this number is called X. Program then checks whether the remainder of dividing this program by 2 is 0. If it is, then the number is even. Else, the number is odd. So the test here is dividing the number by 2. If the remainder is 0, then the number is even. Else, if the remainder is not 0, then the number is odd. So basically, let's do the following. I'm connecting to Replit, and then I will share a screen with you. Okay. Can you all see my Replit screen? Can you all see the Replit screen in front of you?
Yes, doctor.
Good, great. Okay. Now, so this is my program. Okay. So this is the program here. I'm going to create a variable and name it X. And X is going to be an integer. So X is going to be equal integer. Where will I get X from? It will be input by the user. Okay, so the user enters the number. The next step we're going to do is find the remainder of dividing this number by 2. In this case, we need to use the modulus percentage operator. So I'm going to create a variable, name it as REM, short for remainder, and then simply assign the following value, which is x mod 2. So far, so good. Any questions so far? Anything unclear?
All clear, Doctor.
Okay. Next, I'm going to check if this remainder is equal to 0. So this is my if statement. If REM, okay, which equals do I use? The single equal or the double equals? One of you tell me. Shall I use a single equals or a double equals?
Double equal.
Why? Why double equals?
Because there's an if statement.
No. Because I want to find out if this value is exactly equivalent. If I use a single equals, this is an assignment. Remember, single equals means assignment. Double equals means exactly equals. Okay, so this is my if statement. What should I put at the end? What should come after 0?
Indentation.
No, before indentation. What should come? Come on, guys, this is easy. Oh, someone's typing. No, not a double. Watch me, guys. After every if statement comes a colon. A colon. What should happen when I put the colon? What should happen? Colon, not semicolon. Colon. So what should happen after the colon? What will the program do? Indentation. So it will indent the next line, as you can see. If the remainder is 0, simply print the number entered is even. Okay, I'm going to do something else. If remainder exclamation mark equals 0. Now, what does exclamation mark equals mean? What does this operator mean? Can someone remind me?
That is not equal.
Not equals, exactly, not equals. So if the remainder is not equal to 0, print the number is odd. So this is simply my program. I've used two if statements. By the way, this is one way of doing this program. After running the program, I'm going to ask you if there is another way of doing this. Now I'm just going to run. So I'm going to enter a number. Let's try 48, which was our example. Let's see what will the output be. The number entered is even. Let me try another number. Let's go with 57. The number is odd. Let's take another quick example. 104. The number entered is even. Let's make everything standardized. Let me just get rid of this. The number is even or the number is odd? 107. The number is odd. Okay. Any questions about this simple program? Any questions? Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
All clear, Doctor.
Okay, now, is there one other way for me of rewriting this program? Is there another way of rewriting this program?
Then statement.
Sorry?
We use then.
Then,
Else. Sorry.
did I teach you anything called then?
No. Else.
Be careful. I can do the
I
following.
apologize.
Else, if the number is not even, then it's odd. We have two forms of numbers. The number is either even or odd. So if I run the program again, let's enter 48. 48 is even. Let's run again. 49. The number is odd. Okay. Now I'm going to ask another question. Watch, please. Can someone take a guess and tell me or suggest or recommend how can I tell whether or not any number I enter is a multiple of 5?
If the end of the number does not equal to 0 or 5.
Okay, this is one way, but I don't have time to think about this. Can you think of something easier?
If the remainder isn't 0 or 5.
The remainder of what?
Modulus
Yeah, modulus.
of x, I think. Any number.
Yeah, okay. Modulus of x divided by what?
Doctor, we use an
Yes.
operator.
What operator?
If number 5 double equals 0.
If number 5 double equals 0?
Yes, remainder of 5.
If the remainder of dividing the number by 5 is equal to 0. So simply, if x is my number, mod 5 is exactly equal to 0, this is my colon, then I would print the number is a multiple of 5. Very simple. So if I go back, create a new rep, thank you, Lama. So simply, just like what I did before, x is going to be equal. X is an integer, and it's going to be input by the user. If x mod 5 is exactly equal to 0, print is a multiple of 5. Else, print the number is not a multiple of 5. Any questions about this?
All clear, Doctor.
All clear, great. So if I run this program, let me enter a number. Let's go with
20, Doctor.
20. The number is a multiple of 5. Why? Because 20 divided by 5 gives no remainder. 20 divided by 5 is exactly 4. another number. Let's go with 226. The number is not a multiple of 5. Why? Because dividing this number by 5 gives a remainder. There is a remainder. Any questions?
Doctor,
Yes.
what happens if I'm writing the code and after I put the colon and I want to write the else statement, it's indented? Should I make sure that it's not indented, or is that fine?
I didn't get your question.
So when I type the code and I
Yes.
put the if statement and I put a colon, the
Uh-huh.
print statement has to be indented. And then when I press enter to write the else statement, should I make sure that it's not indented?
Yes.
Like your
Make
code?
sure that it's not indented. So for example, watch what I'm doing. So I'm just going to just write any statement. Or you know what? I'm gonna do the following. Let me just get rid of this and write it again. Okay. Can you see the red line here? Can you see the red line under else? It's telling you that there is an error. If I run the program, as you can see, it says invalid syntax. So remember, the else must be under the same level as if, and print should come under else. So watch out for this.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me think of one more example. I'm going to create two variables. X and Y. So X is an integer. And Y is another integer. And I'm going to create a third variable. OP is going to equal input, enter one of the
Doctor, sorry, what OP mean?
OP is a name I made up. You can name it whatever you want. OP is short for operation. Okay. So this is the situation. I'm going to enter one number, a second number, and an operation. Now, what's the following? This is my first if statement. If OP is exactly equals to plus print the sum of the two numbers is x plus y. If OP equals minus the difference of the two numbers is x minus y. If OP is exactly equal to an asterisk, print the product of the two numbers is x times y. If OP is equal to slash backslash print the result of float dividing x by y is x slash y if OP is going to be equal to double backslash
Double backslash mean integers, right?
integer division. I forgot to indent here. Then the result of integer dividing the two numbers x double slash y, extra quotation mark here, else print invalid operator. Okay, this is an idea of a program. I want to see if it's going to work or not. So far, everything looks okay. I don't have any syntax errors. I'm going to talk about errors a little bit today and maybe tomorrow's class, but I'm going to talk about them tonight. Let me run my code. I'm going to enter a first number. I'm going to make sure that the first number is bigger than the second number. So I'm going to go with 16. Second number is 2. And I'm going to enter one of the 4 rules. I'm gonna have to change this to 5 rules, but I'll do this in a minute. Let's go with star, which is the asterisk. The product of the two numbers is 32, invalid operator. Now let me see what went wrong here. Okay, I'm going to remove the else today, but tomorrow I will show you how we can fix this, because I don't want to explain tomorrow's lesson now, because this is not the right time to explain tomorrow's class. So I'm just going to take this out for a minute. I'll come back to it tomorrow. So if I run now, let's try again. 4 I do 16, 2, and start. The product of the two numbers is 32. Let me just tidy up my program a little bit. Enter one of the 5 rules. $16, 2, double slash. The result of integer dividing the two numbers is 8. Let's run again. 16, 2, and slash. The result of float dividing x by y is 8.0.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes.
Would the code still be able to run if we replaced the if statements with multiplication, division, like the word itself instead of the symbol?
Yeah, it should. Let me, for example, let's do the following. Actually, I would prefer this, but it should also work. Let's try. Add. Subtract. Multiply. F divide I divide. Let's run 16 to F divide. It did work. Another example, 8 to add. It did work. So it's not a big deal. But I want to keep them as symbols. Any questions about this program? All clear?
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes.
I noticed, why did you write on the rules add like the word instead of the symbol?
Sorry?
Why did you write the word add itself with the symbol?
I didn't get your question.
When we write the rules, we write the word itself of the rule. Don't write the symbol.
Can you type your question in the chat, please? Your voice is cutting a lot. Can you just type it in the chat? Type your question. No, it's entirely up to you whether you want to use symbols or use words. In this example, I wanted to use symbols. It's entirely dependent on how the question asks you to do it. So in this example, I wanted to use the symbols, but I was asked a question, can I use words? The answer is yes. But in this example, I have specifically asked to use symbols. This is the difference. You're welcome. Okay. Now I'm going to show you one more example. So now we're going to do another program. So if I had a sphere with radius r, then what's the volume of the sphere? Can anyone remind me of what's the equation of calculating the volume of a sphere? Can someone remind me?
I think it's 4/3 pi r cubed.
4/3 pi r cubed. Thank you, Nava. And indeed, it's 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, let me change colors. I'm going to write a program that will ask me to enter a radius of the sphere, I'm sorry, and then it's going to determine the volume. Now, which part of this equation is the constant? Which part of this equation is the constant? Can someone tell me? Pi. So pi is the constant. And what's the value of pi? Pi is equal to 3.14159. Next, I have 4/3. Which type of division do I need to use here? Float division or integer division? Which type of division?
Float division?
I think
Float.
float because it's 3.14159.
Exactly. I must use float division. So it's float division. And R is to be input by, someone has typed something, let me check. Yes, Jude, thank you. Flow division, thank you.
Doctor?
Yep.
So I remember you said that if we multiply an integer by a float, we'd get a float. So why does 4/3 have to be a float?
Okay. Where's the multiplication?
We're multiplying 4/3 with
Because I
pi
want to
into
make sure it's 1.3333333. Now I know that pi is a float, but if I use integer division, this is going to be, if I use integer division, this is going to be 1. This is what I got. So it has to be 1.33.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, okay, Msaad. So, and R is to be input, as I said, by the user. And it's also going to be, and it's going to be an integer. Now, let me go back to Replit. Let's create a new REPL. And name it volume of sphere. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is create a constant for pi. So I'm going to create a variable, name it as pi, but to pi, I will be assigning a single value, a constant value, which is 3.14159. And this is not going to change. The next thing I'm going to do is ask the user to enter an integer value for the radius. R is going to be equal to integer input, enter value for radius. Next, I'm going to calculate the volume of sphere with radius r. And for this case, I'm going to create a variable. Let's name it v. And v is going to be equal to, I'm going to open a bracket and say 4 float division 3 multiplied by pi multiplied by, okay, now I want someone to tell me, how can I write r to the power 3 using Python? Type it in the chat. How can I write r to the power 3? How can I, someone has answered. R star star 3. Thank you very much, Lam. R star star 3. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Ma'am Saad. R double star 3. Next, display the volume as an output. So I'll be using the print statement. The volume of the sphere with radius, comma, r is close the quote, comma, v. So this is my program. Let's run. So I'm going to enter a radius. Let me go with radius. The volume of sphere with of the sphere with radius 12 is 7,238.223335999999. Okay, looks good. My program is working. But I'm going to do the following modification. Okay, I want to display the output to 2 decimal places. Can someone recommend a solution to this problem? What do I need to do? I think we've discussed it in class one. How can I discuss?
First of all, we put comma,
Comma.
then one, yeah, then format, then bracket.
Okay, so format.
Then we
Then-
open a bracket.
Okay.
Then we put 0.
Okay. Do we need to put V
I
as well?
apologize. We put a comma. No, single quotation mark. Then 0 decimal 2F.
Single quotation mark.
Yes.
Where do I put the single quotation mark?
Inside the bracket.
Inside the bracket. So V single quotation mark and then what?
0 then dot 2F.
0.2. And then I close my bracket. Is this what you suggested?
No, doctor. The quotation mark, same as the normal quotation mark, but just put 1.
Okay, so it's quotation mark. It's not it's a semicolon. Okay, so here we go.
Yes. Yes, exactly like this.
And comma. I don't need the 0 really, so you can just get rid of the 0. And simply I would use 0.2f. I just want to put this in between.
Yes, exactly like this, doctor.
Okay, now it looks better. So this is one way of doing it. There is another way. Someone suggested something. Percentage 0.2f. Okay, Lama. Thank you very much. We will see this in a minute. Now let me run this program. So let's go with 12. Okay, I have an error. Oh, okay. In this case, because I want to display the value of V, I shouldn't be putting V in between quotation marks because V needs to be read. So let's run. Let's try again. That's better. So this is one way of doing it. The other way, just a quick reminder. Remember, percentage 0.2. Comma, no, not a comma. Percentage V. So let's run. And I should get something similar. Enter value for radius. Let's go with 12. And here you go. 2 ways of showing the same thing.
Doctor,
Yes.
for some reason I'm getting errors for both statements.
Check your to check the way you type the statement. There must be something wrong. Okay, so this is an example where I can use a form. Okay, any questions about this? Any questions?
All clear, doctor.
Okay, let's take another example. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do in this program is create 3 integer variables. Red, blue, and green. These are the names of my variables. So red is going to be equal to integer input enter the number of red balls. The second one is called blue. Integer input enter the number of blue balls. Let me just modify this a little bit. Enter the number of green balls. Next, determine the total number of balls. So create a variable named total. Total is going to be equal to, what's total going to be equal to? Can you guess?
Red plus blue plus green.
Very easy. Exactly, red plus blue plus green. Now, create 3 variables, P red, P blue, and P green. Now, what will these variables do?
Percentage, maybe?
Exactly, percentage. I'll show you what I need. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So P red is going to be equal to red float division total. P blue is going to be equal to blue float division total. And P green to be equal to green divided by total.
This is the same as the homework, right, Doctor?
Yes. Just to help you a little bit. So I did solve the actual question. Now I'm doing a similar question. So if you don't get a full mark on this question, then you have no excuse. يعني إذا السؤال ما ضبطوه في زفة وغسيل الشعر.
إن شاء الله كله صح دكتور، إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله. Now, express each of the variables P red, P blue, and P green as a percentage. So, print the percentage of red ball is comma
معليش دكتور، بس البي اللي قبل الريد واللي قبل البلو قبل الجرين هذه البرنت صح؟
أي واحدة؟
لاين 8 لاين 9 لاين 10.
هذا it will just calculate the percentage as a fraction.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Format P red, comma, double quotation marks or single quotation marks, doesn't make a difference. عشان ما أتعب نفسي, I'm just gonna copy and paste this. V, we'll change this one to blue. Format P blue. Okay, so this is my program. Let's see if it's going to work. So I have 12 red balls, 17 blue balls, and 25 green balls. The percentages did work. So 22.22222 red balls. The percentage of blue balls is 31.481481 percentage. The percentage of green balls is 46.296296. Okay, now I have a task for you. I want to express each of these percentages to one decimal place. What do you suggest me doing?
0.01.
Sorry?
0.1. Sorry.
0.1. Where do I put the 0.1? Someone typed something in the chat. Put integer before. No. Integer is just going to show me, is not going to include the decimal. I said one decimal place. Lama said something interesting here. Percentage 0.1 F, exactly. So it's 0.1 F, 0.1 F, so it's a float, and only one digit after the decimal place. Let's try again. 12, 17, and 25. Invalid format specified. Okay, let me try something else. 0. Not sure if it's gonna work, but let me check.
معليش دكتور بس
I
why
think
we
we have to.
put 0.1
Huh? I want to
ليش
express
حطينا
as a percentage to one decimal place. So this is what I'm trying to do. I want you to help me. You did
Dr.
your.
I think we should remove format.
You should remove what?
Format.
Why?
I think last time that's how we did it.
How we put it last time? Okay, let me remember something. Let's remind ourselves. I don't know if this is the right example, but
I think it should be percent 0.2 F percent.
give me a
And then
second. Okay. Can you see what I did? I just wanted to see if you recall. The percentage should be after the 0.1, and I did it the other way around. So we go back. So simply, no need for the F. This is what we needed to do. So watch me, guys. So it's a number to be expressed to one decimal place. So this is my decimal point. 1 point after the decimal point, one digit after the decimal point, or the right of the decimal point, and percentage. 0.1 percentage and 0.1 percentage. Now let's run this. 12, 17, 25. Does this look more appropriate?
I think so.
You don't have to think so because it does. So this is now more appropriate. This is now more appropriate. Okay. Any questions about this before I move on to the next example? So the next example is going to be our last example for today. I believe we did a lot. So, any questions about this one before I move on to my next example? Any questions?
Clear, Doctor.
Great. Okay, now let's see what the next example talks about. Okay, we all open a bank account. And in the bank account, we invest let's say X dollars today. At Y percentage annual interest rate. To accumulate Z dollars after N years. Does this scenario make sense to everybody? So we basically put some money into a bank account, maybe a savings account or a fixed deposit account, or I don't know, like, I don't know if any one of you have an investment account in the bank whereby you deposit a monthly amount, but in this example, it's a yearly amount. We put an amount every year. So you put in an amount at a certain percentage, and then after N years, you will end up with a future. Are you all aware of this scenario?
Yes.
It's very easy. So I'm going to have the following variables. The first variable is called PV, which stands for present value. Which is the amount you invest today. Amount invested today. We also have a variable named N, which is the number of years. And I also have a variable named I, which is the percentage annual interest and I have one more variable named FV, which is the future value, which is the amount after n years investment. Now, how can I relate all these variables? So these variables, so let's change the color here. Let's go blue. This is an input variable. This is also another input variable. Again, this is another input variable. And finally, this is an output variable. Okay, so what's the formula that relates all of these? So FV is going to be equal to PV multiplied by 1 plus I to the power n. So this is the formula, which I will be using in my program. The future value is equal to the present value multiplied by 1 plus the interest, the power number of years. Any questions, anything unclear before I continue? It's important that you understand this. Any questions, anything unclear?
No, thank you.
Everybody else, any questions?
شكرا يا أستاذ كلنا.
Okay. Now, let's go back to Replit. Okay, so the first thing is ask user to input present value. So PV is my first variable, which is equal. Now PV here is going to be a float. Why? Because the amount can be in dollars and cents. Float, input, enter the amount you wish to invest. The next thing I'm going to ask the user to enter is the percentage interest. Excuse me, guys, I'll be back. Sorry about this, guys. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to enter my percentage interest. Ask user to enter or input interest. I'm not going to say percentage. You'll find out why in a minute. So I'm going to create a variable, name it as I, and I is a float. Float input, enter the interest rate. The third variable to be entered is ask user to enter the number of years of investment. So n, this is definitely an integer. Integer input enter the number of years of investment. So far, so good. So these are my three inputs. Any questions so far? Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Now, next thing we're going to, this is the first step. I want to calculate percentage interest. Now look, when it comes to entering the interest, I will be entering a number like 2 or 2.5 or 0.5, but this is not a percentage. To make it a percentage, I have to divide this by 100. I have to divide this by 100. So I'm going to create a new variable named P, which is short for percentage, underscore I, which is short for interest, and this is equal to I float division 100. Next, we're going to calculate the future value of investment. I've already shown you the formula on the white screen. So FB is going to be equal to EV multiplied by, open a bracket, 1 plus P underscore I to the power of N. This is my future value. Next, I'm going to display some account facts. I'm going to display some account facts. Friend, your present investment for today was I'm going to put a $sign, comma, format, open a bracket, PV, comma, double quotes or single quotes, whatever you want. I'm going inside the double quotes, I'm going to put a comma, 0.2. Now, what does comma 0.2 means? Can somebody remind me? What does comma 0.2 refer to?
2 decimal points.
2 decimal places, and what does the comma do? What did I call the comma? I think I've discussed it in class last week. Not on Wednesday, but last Monday, when I was physically present in class. What does the comma do? Let me remind you, let me refresh your memories, because you seem to reset things very quickly. If I have the following number,
It will separate the thousandth.
it's
right?
the thousandths separator. I'm going to count 3 digits and separate like this. This was the that was the purpose. Okay. And the rate of the percentage rate of investment was. This is a good example because it simply revises everything. Format P underscore I, comma, double quotes, 0.2 percentage. I'm going to express this as a percentage to 2 decimal places. Print the maturity term, the maturity period was comma n comma years, and I'm just going to copy this statement because it's the same. Your future investment after space quote, comma n comma actually let me do this. I'll just get rid of this and just say years. Let's put it after all. Should be fine. I'm just going to add like a little space. I'm going to format FV this time because it's the future value. Any questions about any of the last 4 lines? It's important that you understand them. Any questions about any of these 4 lines?
All clear, Doctor.
Okay, let me run. So let's say for today, actually, you know what? I just want to tidy things up a little bit. I want to invest $150,000 and 0 cents. This is my amount of investment. And I will be investing this at 1.25%. And I would like to invest these for 12 years. Let me see if this is going to work. So I don't know why I got the standard form. I didn't actually ask for this. But if you look at it, so my present investment for today was $150,000. Percentage rate of investment was 1.25%. Maturity period was for 12 years. After 12 years, it will be around $170,000. So after 12 years of investment, I will be getting $20,000. Okay, I just want to check something. I'm gonna try again. Yeah, that's better. I've forgotten to add the F. This is why it was written in standard form. So 150,000, 1.25, 12 years of investment. So today I'm planning to invest $150,000. The percentage rate was 1.25%. The maturity period was 12 years. And my future investment after 12 years, actually, I'm very keen on, and I'm very picky when it comes to English. So it will be $174,113.18. Was this example a good one for you? Did it cover pretty much everything in chapter 2?
Yes, doctor. Thank you so much.
Okay, so this brings us to the end of today's session. Our next session is going to be on Saturdays as usual between 3 and 5. Tomorrow, we're going to continue with chapter 3. Hopefully, I will try and finish off chapter 3 tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about another if statement notation, which is the if, else, if. In Python, it's called if, elif, else. And this is going to handle multiple conditions. This example is going to handle multiple conditions. Remember, not everything in life is one condition that either fits or doesn't fit. Life is about multiple conditions. How will we handle multiple conditions? We will see tomorrow. We will find out tomorrow. Okay, guys.
دكتور
Yes.
عندي سؤال سريع.
تفضل.
أنا اليوم حملت البايثون
إيه.
لو تلاحظ عندك في الكومبلاير تشوف الأرقام
Compiler.
أي سوري ما أعرف أنطق.
كومبايلر. أيوة.
كومبايلر في الأرقام على اليسار يطلع لي دائرة حمراء عليها إكس للبرنت ستيتمنت بس الفاريبل ما يطلع جنبها.
طيب
البروجرام يشتغل عادي.
معلش بتعبك معاي بكره باكر بس انت تجيب اللابتوب وياك.
انا محمله على البي سي. محمله على البي سي مو لابتوب.
محمله على البي سي.
I have photos انه البروجرام يشتغل عادي طبيعي بس يطلع دائرة حمراء عليها اكس من اليسار الرقم في البرنت فقط، اما في الفاريبل ما يطلع.
طيب اوكي، تجيب السكرين شوتس معك بكره تفرجيني اياهم باخر الكلاس.
اوكي شكرا دكتور.
ولا يهمك. Okay guys, شكرا كثير. Thank you very much for joining me today. And I'm already recording this session. I will upload it later on tonight for you. So for those people who missed today's session, they will be able to catch up with the recording. Have a great evening. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in class, and I will send a reminder about Wednesday's test. It's going to be on Mondays because I know you have physics and chemistry and calculus and so on. But Monday is the very last day that I can do this. Remember, we have a timetable and we have to stick to this timetable. Okay, guys, remember that you have the username and password for Replit, so you can always go back and visit these examples. Take care,
Thank you,
guys.
Doctor.
You're welcome. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care now and bye-bye.